In this Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous build guide I will showcase my version of Feral Vampire, you blood-sucking bastards. I am not by any means an expert when it comes to Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder system, and this is my first proper build ever in this realm. What I have tried to accomplish here is to create my vision of vampire, which would be something like dexterous character that attacks with claws and is able to cast spells of some kind to boost itself. It is half role-playing and half optimized build, and it is tested on core difficulty. First class we are going for is Vivisectionist Alchemist. At level 2 Alchemist we get Feral Mutagen, which when used enables claws and bite natural attacks. Vivisectionist also unlocks Sneak Attack, which is great addition. Race we are going for is normal Dhampir because of dexterity and charisma bonus. Yeah, we lose a bit on constitution, but fuck it. For background choose whichever suits your fancy. I would suggest something like Mandavian Orphan that grants +1 to saving throws against demons. Starting attributes should look something like this. Dexterity is primary because of added melee attack and armor class bonus. 12 in intelligence for skills and more alchemist spells. 14 constitution because we are melee build and need some HP. 14 charisma because vampires are charismatic sons of bitches and because Blood Rager class uses charisma for spellcasting. Another option is to go for 17 charisma to unlock natural charmer feat for Dhampirs that grants +20 on persuasion checks once a day, and it would enable more spells per day. However, you are going to have to lower constitution to 12 in that case. Your choice. Don't forget that natural charmer requires feat to be picked, and this build is quite starved for feats, meaning we need a bunch of them. From skills, definitely go for persuasion, as it helps with dazzling display, and it kinda suits vampire roleplaying, even though ferals don't really talk, but fuck it. Pick out the rest of the skills from knowledge, stealth, trickery and magic device, depending what party needs. First feat should be Weapon Finesse to add dexterity modifier to attack rolls. Most important first level spells are Shield for better armor class and Key Strike for enemies that are hard to hit for whatever reason. Enlarged Person increases melee damage, but Oversized Vampire and -2 to dexterity +2 to strength -1 to attack rolls and armor class is not something I prefer, but the option is still there. At 2 we go for another alchemist to get Feral Mutagen. Goal is to have 6 levels in this class to unlock Feral Wings. Vampire with wings is cool as hell, and wings negate terrain penalty and grant +3 dodge to armor class. From spells, take whatever you want. At this point, meaning at level 3, we have plenty options. We can go into Blood Rager where we put most levels, continue leveling Alchemist to 6, or pick one level into Freebooter's Ranger, Slayer or Cavalier. Now to explain why. Alchemist has normal basic attack bonus gain, unlike Blood Rager, Ranger and Slayer who have high basic attack bonus. It is crucial stat for martial characters. Freebooter, Ranger and Slayer get Freebooter's Bane and Studied Target, which helps with attack rolls and damage. Cavalier has Tactician skill that grants teamwork feats to every party member and horse companion, but it has normal basic attack bonus gain, so by putting only one level into Cavalier we won't get +1 to basic attack bonus like with Blood Ranger, Ranger and Slayer. In my case I'm going 14 levels Blood Rager and 6 levels Alchemist. 14th level Blood Rager grants Indomitable Will that helps against mind control spells. We have low wisdom, so will is quite low and that offsets it a bit. By going one level into Ranger, Slayer or Cavalier we lose Indomitable Will. Your choice. Going Blood Rager from here on out to increase basic attack bonus as much as possible. Feat Weapon Focus Claw. Blood Drinker is alright feat, but nothing special. For role playing it is great, but otherwise I would ditch it for others. Good example is Life Dominant Soul, that is a must because most likely there is one character in party that heals through channeled energy. With Life Dominant Soul, Dhampirs, gonna call them vampires because Dhampir to me sounds stupid, can heal instead of taking damage through channeled energy. However, Cure Wounds spell still harms them. Natural Charmer has its uses, but you need 17 charisma as stated before. I guess this can be used with Dazzling Display for guaranteed success. Bloodline is obviously undead. It has some nice bonuses. Frightful Charger is great for charge ability. Ghost Strike is fantastic against incorporeal enemies. Death's Gift increases resistances. Frightful Strikes are quite good, and lastly, Vampire Touch. At level 4, 1 point goes into Dexterity, as we are going to continue leveling Dexterity until level 20. Level 5, another feat choice. Accomplished, Sneak Attack, Life Dominant Soul, Outflank are all good choices. At level 6, pick Corrosive Touch and Shocking Grasp spells, because touch and self-buffing spells can be used as swift action when Blood Rager hits level 11. At level 7, another feat. Dazzling Display, Blind Fight, Outflank, Life Dominant Soul. Spell can be defensive one, like Protection from Alignment for example. Level 8, another point into Dexterity. Bonus feat, Dodge. Firebelly isn't bad against fire attacks. At level 9 we hit important point because now Blood Rager can cast level 2 spells. Before that, pick one feat from aforementioned ones. Spell we want more than anything is Mirror Image, fantastic defensive spell. Second one can be self-buffing spell like Bear's Endurance or something, or Frigid Touch, which can be used later as swift action. From here on out we level Alchemist to 6 to get Feral Wings. Weakening Wound, Spontaneous Healing and Preserve Organs are all good medical discoveries, so pick one. Take Barkskin spell. At level 12 another point into Dexterity, spell Blur. Level 13 another feat. At this point improved critical claws should become available, so pick that one or one of aforementioned feats. Also Feral Wings now become available. Role-playing Raziel, aren't we? Spell anything you like, defensive or buffing being priority. Now we continue with Blood Rager till level 20. At level 16, last point into Dexterity. Haste and Heroism spells. At level 17, Greater Blood Rage is unlocked, allowing use of touch and self-buffing spells as swift action. Till level 20, 2 more feats can be chosen. Critical Focus to help with confirming critical hits should be one of them. Last one is Shattered Defenses, that works great with this build because attacking shaken enemy means we target flat-footed armor class instead of total armor class, which makes enemies much easier to hit. Shaken can be applied through Dazzling Display and by charging the enemy due to Frightful Charge feat from Undead Bloodline. At level 20, put one more point into Wisdom to get +1 to Will saving throw. Unfortunately, I didn't unlock all Mythic levels, but shouldn't be an issue. Gonna show what to focus on. I won't focus, however, which Mythic path to go for, because it depends what you have unlocked before Dresden. I'll leave that choice to you for now. When it comes to Mythic levels, definitely go for Brutality Incarnate first, because with it we bypass damage reduction when using natural attacks such as Claws and Bite. Mythic feats we want are Dodge, Dazzling Display, Weapon Focus, Mythic Sneak Attacker and such. Don't go for feats such as Fencing Grace and Weapon Finesse Mythic that add Dexterity modifier to damage with finesse weapons, because we easily get that unlocked through Amulet of Agile Fists that can be obtained relatively early in the game. Weapon ability I would recommend after first Mythic feat is Limitless Rage to help with rage management. With this, entering and exiting Blood Rage can be done at will, as long as character isn't exhausted or fatigued. Couple tips regarding equipment. Watch out for belts that increase attribute, because it doesn't stack with buffing spells such as Cat's Grace and Bear's Endurance. So one or the other. I prefer belts to have more spell slots available for casting other spells. Mithril armor is best choice due to high dexterity that we have, and Mithril allows more dexterity modifier than typical armor. Amulet of Agile Fists is a must, as stated before. Demonic Resentment helmet is good for Blood Ragers, same as Cloak of Bloodscent. These bracers are nice too, especially if trickery is one of the skills you are focusing on. This is far cry from available items, but at this stage of the game it is best I can come up with, and it gives you enough of a picture what to look out for. Before rushing into battle we need Mutagen Dexterity. After that, Mirror Image, Shield, use attribute buffing spells like Cat's Grace if you want, Haste, defensive spells such as Protection from Alignment, Arrows or Resist Energy, but those can be cast by other party members if you don't have them, Heroism, and turn on Blood Rage. Attack enemy that another party member is attacking in melee so that sneak attack is applied. Don't forget about Frightful Strikes and Dazzling Display abilities. That is it, hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more Pathfinder builds and guides.